Right now, on to the point.
I will be uninsured in a week and a half.
ABC 10 answers the call from a woman whose health insurance was nearly wrongly canceled. The June primary election just days away, and voters are still undecided on the choice for governor. A look at the latest poll.
Leaders here in the Sacramento region want a permanent Major League Baseball team after the Athletics leave in 2028. Coming up, the pitch they're making to the MLB.
And in our Champions of Hope, graduating seniors looking back and giving thanks as they prepare for the next chapter in their lives. After reaching out to the To The Point team, a Sacramento woman says that she finally got answers about why her health insurance was almost canceled. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Bell. She was told there was an issue with her immigration status. Despite being a U.S. citizen, she couldn't get clear answers until To The Point stepped in. It started with a notice.
So I received a letter from Kaiser and Covered California stating that my insurance was terminated.
Covered California told Ariel,
I do not currently qualify at this time because the information about your immigration status does not match the records that we checked for you.
Which she says didn't make sense.
I was born in California.
For Ariel, the stakes of not having health insurance are high.
I have a brain tumor that has to be checked up on, like I just had a hearing test for it. I have thyroid problems, like a lot of women my age, that requires daily medication.
She says for about a week, she tried calling Covered California and Sacramento County Human Assistance.
They send you sort of in an endless loop. They ask you your social security number, all these things, and then they say, we're sorry, a worker's not available to speak to you right now.
She says she was left without answers even after waiting hours to try to talk to someone in person.
And I'm like, I will be uninsured in a week and a half if I can't get this figured out. And that's when I contacted you.
After ABC 10 began asking questions, Ariel says her case was escalated and she was connected with an investigator and an ombudsman. She says that's when things finally started moving and her insurance was reinstated.
If you didn't open up your Instagram messages and message me back and we didn't get on the phone, and I wouldn't have health insurance right now.
The experience left Ariel asking,
who else is having to deal with this? So I would really love to speak to somebody who can answer how this happened.
We took Ariel's concerns directly to the state and county agencies involved. Both Covered California and Sacramento County say the issue came down to human error. Covered California says its investigation found Ariel's citizenship status was mistakenly changed in the county eligibility system. The county adds that citizenship verification is a manual process, and in this case, the worker processing the paperwork unintentionally selected the wrong option. We also asked Covered California if they're aware of other cases where people have been incorrectly flagged or if this is a common issue. They told us they are not aware of any system-wide issues. Covered California also said, while we track appeals and hearing requests, we currently do not have the ability to track the number of appeals related to administrative error. We also asked Sacramento County Human Assistance what safeguards are in place to prevent people from wrongly losing coverage. They said when individuals receive a discontinuance notice, they should contact the DHA Service Center immediately and ask for the case to be reviewed, as there could be more than one reason for a discontinuance. And Ariel, I want to say thank you so much for thinking of our team and reaching out. And if you do want to hear more on the states and counties' response and what you should do, including where you can go to find help if this happens to you, make sure you head to our website over at abc10.com and just search for this story. Tonight in Your Voice, Your Vote, we are just 5 days away from the June 2nd primary, and a new poll in the race for governor is showing which candidates are leading and whether voters are still undecided. ABC 10 political reporter Jenny Huh has the latest.
After Memorial Day, we saw a pretty sharp spike in people coming in to drop off their ballots or kind of come in and vote in person.
California voters are turning out in the days leading up to the June gubernatorial primary election.
But what a comeback it has been for Becerra. And the Steyer situation, I think, is extremely interesting because he has spent $200 million, an all-time record in California, just in the primary. He has 15% of the vote so far?
A new poll by the nonpartisan Public Policy Institute of California showing Democrat Javier Becerra at the front of the pack of 8 leading candidates with 23% of likely voters. Republican Steve Hilton in second with 20% of likely voters, followed by Democrat Tom Steyer with 15%, Republican Chad Bianco with 13%, and Democrat Katie Porter with 12%.
I think it's undisputed that we do have kind of a 3 leading candidates right now, Hilton, Becerra, and Steyer. And one would expect that these polls that are coming out will show different versions of that story.
Politics often ever evolving, but the race to succeed Gavin Newsom has been especially turbulent.
I think for Democrats in California, it has been pretty agonizing over the last several months.
Former Democratic candidate Eric Swalwell was leading the field before he was forced out of the race following allegations of sexual assault, which he has denied.
It just turned the entire campaign topsy-turvy.
Democrat Katie Porter has also faced challenges on the campaign trail. Videos showing her clashing with a staffer and a reporter went viral, drawing unwanted attention to her campaign.
It's her temperament that was in question, and it still dogs her to this day.
But after Swalwell dropped out of the race, Javier Becerra surged from the single digits to the top of the field.
Competent, experienced individual with a long resume, and he just, things just sort of gravitated toward him. I mean, sometimes it's karma.
As a result, political experts say Democrats have been holding on to their ballots.
It's like pearl clutching, but with ballots. For a lot of voters who are watching a topsy-turvy governor's race and want to make sure that they're voting for somebody who can make it into the runoff, they are kind of waiting for a sign from somebody or something. And it might be that these polls are providing that final kind of nudge to them.
No matter what the result is, if it doesn't go your way, that's not a reason to not vote in the next one.
Jenny Ha, ABC 10.
And per election data from expert Paul Mitchell's ballot return tracker, 11% of ballots have been returned as of this afternoon. A rare show of bipartisan support today at the state capitol. Assembly members from both parties overwhelmingly approved a bill aimed at protecting kids from the harmful effects of social media. Assembly Bill 1709 by Democratic Assembly member Josh Lowenthal would prevent children under 16 from having social media accounts on platforms with addictive features like infinite scrolling, autoplay, and algorithm-driven feeds. The measure has been revised several times to address concerns that a broad ban could limit access to online support networks, including for LGBTQ plus youth. The bill would also create a new e-safety commission to help oversee social media companies and age verification requirements. The measure now moves to the state Senate. 3 years ago, a data breach at the genetic testing company 23andMe affected nearly 7 million users across the U.S. And the company, known as Chroma Holding Company, they're now facing a lawsuit. California Attorney General Rob Bonta announced the lawsuit just today, saying the company failed to protect its customers' sensitive personal information and genetic data. Bonta claims the company ignored known vulnerabilities in its systems and failed to investigate or respond to warnings that its system had been compromised. Still ahead, could West Sacramento be the next major baseball city? The proposal to bring a new team to the region. And a major step toward tackling the doctor shortage in the Central Valley, the new medical school aimed at bringing more health care to underserved communities.
And it's been a very out-of-season weather week, but things are going to be changing. 70s again tomorrow, but then 80s and 90s through the weekend. I've got a look at the forecast after the break.
But first, another headlines tonight. Opening statements began today in the retrial of Carlos Dominguez. The former UC Davis student faces second-degree murder charges, among others, tied to a 2023 stabbing spree in Davis. A mistrial was declared last June when the jury found Dominguez not guilty of first-degree murder and deadlocked on the remaining charges of second-degree murder and attempted murder. The U.S. and Iran have reached a tentative deal to extend a ceasefire. President Trump hasn't signed off on it yet. It also isn't clear if Iran's supreme leader has given his approval. The agreement would lift constrictions on the Strait of Hormuz, including the lifting of a U.S. blockade. It would also start a 60-day negotiation period to address Iran's nuclear program. And Governor Gavin Newsom says the state will tax any resident who receives compensation from President Donald Trump's anti-weaponization fund. The $1.8 billion fund, funded by taxpayers, could compensate people who say they were unfairly targeted by the government. The fund was created by the Justice Department as part of the settlement of a lawsuit filed by Trump and his family against the IRS. All right, let's get a check of our forecast with meteorologist Brendan Menchef. Some wonky weather, to say the least, the last couple of days. Not really what you think you're going to see at the unofficial start of summer here.
I know. Wonky weather is a good way to put it. I've been saying out of season weather. It doesn't really matter what you want to call it. The fact is we're not used to seeing 60s and 70s and rain and flurries after Memorial Day. Here's that troublemaker. It is a cutoff low pressure sitting right over top of Northern California right now. Thorn in the side of weathercasters across Northern California because models keep changing a little bit every day. And certainly last week we were thinking this may be only a day or two and things are going to warm up quite a bit, much faster than has actually been the case. Nope, Mother Nature keeping this thing around for the rest of this work week. We've got a little bit of clearing right now, a little bit of sunshine going on. Still see some rain and snow showers across the high country. It has not been a lot of rain, and that's been the case every day this week. Some drizzle, not a lot of rain. The heaviest rain has been out in the Bay Area and up along the coastal range, and even then it's only been roughly half an inch of rain or so. But certainly temperatures, the other story here, we've been in the low to mid 70s all week long, and we're going to be still in those 70s by the time we go through Friday afternoon. Temperatures remaining below normal. Morning showers to start off on Friday morning, but by Friday afternoon, I do expect sunnier skies, and we're going to be warming up quite a bit next week. Right now, 70 in Sacramento, 69 Stockton, 64 in Modesto, 40s in the high country. Friday morning, again, cool with some scattered showers. We'll be in those middle 50s in the valley. By Friday afternoon, as I expect some sunshine, I've got us back in those mid 70s. So here's Futurecast, and clouds coming back through the evening, along with some more chances for rain through the very early morning hours, lingering into the morning commute hours. Clouds stay with us through the mid-morning, but then I do expect some clearing skies as we go into Friday afternoon. This low pressure system, as soon as it gets picked up and moved out of here, temperatures are going to warm up because high pressure builds in its place. So we go from the 70s tomorrow to 80s on Saturday, some 90s on Sunday, and then we've got some mid, maybe even some upper 90s on the way next week. Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Right after the break, West Sacramento makes its case for landing a Major League Baseball team. ABC 10's Becca Habegger shares the details and reaction from local leaders. And as high school seniors prepare to graduate, they are taking the time to visit and thank the teachers who helped them grow and succeed. The Sacramento region wants a permanent Major League Baseball team, and today leaders unveiled their strong pitch, a 50-acre stadium site, and nearly $2 billion in private and public investment. ABC 10's Becca Habegger has the details.
Behind me is Sutter Health Park, home of the River Cats and temporary home of the A's until they move to Las Vegas in 2028. But just a few steps this way are some of the dozens of acres of vacant land ready for development. It's here West Sacramento leaders envision a Major League Baseball park surrounded by new housing, shops, restaurants, and entertainment.
And who's ready to swing for the fences?
Excitement crackled through the air Thursday morning as local elected and economic leaders gathered at Drake's The Barn in West Sacramento's Bridge District to announce the Sacramento Pitch.
Sacramento is MLB ready.
They unveiled this rendering of plans for a new Major League ballpark surrounded by housing and retail, all in the same general area as the current minor league park.
We've secured a 50-acre parcel just behind you. The site is fully zoned and entitled and ready to go.
The path to expansion is backed by some $1.8 billion in public and private investment commitments, including support from, among other regional partners, the Shingle Springs Band of Miwok Indians.
This is a transformative day for the whole region, not just for my tribal community, but for Sacramento region.
And the United Auburn Indian community.
It brings opportunity to the community, it brings economic development, it brings jobs.
Around $1 billion are coming from the city of West Sacramento in the form of tax increment financing, existing hotel taxes, and other sources. Mayor Martha Guerrero says money will not be paid up front or come from the general fund. And over 40 years, the development is expected to bring in $1.77 billion in new tax revenue.
Revenue that is going to be generated from here is not just going to be reinvested back in the Bridge District. We see the revenue is going to be larger to go back into our schools, to the county, and to our entire city.
Legendary MLB player and manager Dusty Baker grew up in the region and owns a business in West Sacramento.
And it's a big league city. It's been a big league city for a long time. It's just that sometimes we didn't believe it and some of the rest of the world didn't believe it. But now we believe it.
He's on the Sacramento Pitch Steering Committee along with Barry Broom, president and CEO of the Greater Sacramento Economic Council.
We land Major League Baseball. No one will ever consider Sacramento an underdog town again.
The MLB has not announced expansion plans and hasn't added a team since 1998. But Commissioner Rob Manfred has said he'd like to add 2 teams before retiring in 2029. Cities hoping to land a franchise include Nashville, Salt Lake City, Portland, and now Sacramento.
In the meantime, leaders ask people to turn out for A's games, River Cats games, Kings games to show the Sacramento fan base would support an MLB franchise here. In West Sacramento, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
And if you'd like to watch the full announcement, you can stream it now on our free ABC 10 TV streaming app. There is a growing shortage of physicians across the Central Valley, and one local college is hoping to address the healthcare crisis. Today, the University of the Pacific unveiled plans to launch the Pacific School of Medicine. The new school will be built on the university's Stockton campus and will focus on educating new class of doctors for underserved areas.
This is going to mean that we can train our own doctors here in the Valley. That's going to be a big deal. It's going to mean lowered wait times for folks and better health care. And of course, it's also going to be a big improvement for our students, kids that are graduating high school and college who don't have to go away to San Francisco or down to Los Angeles to actually go and become doctors.
The Pacific School of Medicine is scheduled to open by 2030, pending accreditation approvals. Coming up in our Champions of Hope, a group of high school seniors taking a heartfelt trip back to where it all began. All right, for many graduating seniors, this season is all about looking ahead to the future. But at Antelope High School, some students are taking the time to look back, returning to the teachers who helped shape who they are today.
You made school feel safe, fun, and memorable, even on the days when I probably tested your patience more than you could handle. And of course, I can't think of
It is a tradition where graduating seniors from Antelope High School visit the teachers who made a lasting impact on their lives. A simple but meaningful reminder of how teachers can help shape our confidence, character, and the future. We sat down with Jeff Thomas, a teacher at Antelope Meadows Elementary School, after one of his former students, Miley, returned to read him a letter.
It's really moving to have students come back. I've been teaching for 10 years. I remember back in my first year of teaching that I was with these kids every day for 10 months and sometimes more than their parents even. And then you send them off to middle school and most of them you'll never see again in your life. So to feel 7 years later as they're seniors in high school, getting ready to move on to the next phase of their life, to have them think back fondly of you and your class, it's very moving and very touching.
Jeff says moments like these are reminders that teaching, it does go far beyond academics, and that sometimes the biggest impact teachers make is one that they may not realize until years later. And I do want to mention that these seniors, they are graduating tonight. There's Maddie right there. That is our assistant news director's daughter. They're marking the end of their high school journey as they head into the next chapter of their lives. And we could not be any more excited for them. Congratulations to all those seniors. And ABC 10, we are celebrating something here too. We are celebrating a major journalism award. The station has won a regional Edward R. Murrow Award in the news documentary category for its coverage of the Klamath Dam Removal Project. The documentary followed the largest dam removal effort in U.S. history, documenting the removal of 4 dams along the Klamath River and the decades-long fight to restore thousands of miles of salmon habitat. ABC 10 spent more than 2 years covering the project, highlighting the environmental impacts, the cultural significance for Native American tribes, and the challenges facing communities as the river was returned to its natural flow for the first time in more than a century. Regional Murrow Award winners now advance to the national competition. I just want to say congratulations to our originals team who put that story together. John Bartel, Tyler, I know so many people work so hard, so congratulations to those guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, for always inviting us into your home. If you have something you think the team and I should be looking into, you already know what to do. Email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. And To The Point does not end here. If you do want to watch stories that are featured on our show, make sure you download our free ABC 10 TV streaming app. Have a great night. I'll see you back here later.